We are all salespeople. Sales is part of all of our lives, so whether you do it professionally or simply in life, embrace it, master it, profit. This is Life of Selling. When evaluating a new opportunity, most people focus on the opportunity itself. The company, the title, the compensation, the benefits, and all those things matter. Then the process really begins. The interviews, the follow-up, the presentation, the references. Everything required to get that offer, and when that offer finally arrives, there's a natural excitement that comes with being chosen, and that's completely understandable. But the offer itself isn't the most important part of the decision, because once you say yes, a completely different set of challenges begin. Day one is when you start. Deal one is not when a contract gets signed. For this conversation, deal one is when the first meaningful commission check actually hits your bank account. And depending on the company, the territory, the ramp process, the sales cycle, and the compensation structure, that distance may be much longer than you think. Most salespeople understand day one. Very few spend enough time thinking about deal one. And that's what today's topic is, preparing for what happens after you say yes. Because once you accept an offer, the conversation changes. You are no longer trying to get selected, you are preparing to succeed. And the people who navigate this transition successfully are usually the people who started preparing long before the offer was ever signed. Because there is always a hidden gap between day one and deal one. Okay, let's look at a common sales career decision. On the surface, it looks simple. One job pays one number, the new job appears to pay a bigger number. But in sales, the number on the offer letter is not always the number that hits your bank account. In the current job, this salesperson has a $75,000 base, a $75,000 at-plan commission, equaling $150,000 in OTE, on-target earnings. And the keyword is target. Now, the new company offers a $100,000 base, a $100,000 at-plan commission, equaling $200,000 in OTE. So on paper, it looks better. Higher base, higher at-plan commission, higher OTE. But here's the part that changes the math. This salesperson is not just making $150,000. They're actually earning $200,000 in their current job. They know the product, they know the customers, they know the internal processes, they know how to get things done. They're already producing well above target. And at the new job, that number is unknown because OTE is a target. It is not a guarantee. It assumes that you are trained. It assumes that you understand the product. It assumes that you have pipeline. It assumes that you're operating at full speed. But none of this is true at day one. So the hidden gap is not the gap between $150,000 and $200,000. The hidden gap is between what you're actually earning today and what you'll actually earn after you say yes. Let me give you a story from earlier in my career. I started a new position in April of one year. New company, new products, new systems, new processes, new customers. Like many salespeople, I was starting from scratch. By May of that first year, about 2.5 months into my career, I had created my first meaningful opportunity, so things were moving quickly. By December of that first year, that deal closed. A meaningful deal quickly to signature, less than 9 months after my start date. And this was not a small win. This single deal represented nearly my entire quota for the year. This was not the average outcome. This was a best case scenario. But then commission timing enters the story. The customer chose quarterly billing, and that decision changed when my commission would actually be paid. So instead of getting paid all at once, the compensation was spread across year two. So year two January, year two April, year two July, and year two October. Think about what that meant. Fast start, major deal, nearly an entire year's quota, a best case scenario, and it still took over 18 months to be fully made whole. If the best case scenario can take this long, you should understand what the average case scenario looks like before you say yes. Here's the lesson. Most salespeople evaluate a job change emotionally. They get excited about the title, the company, the compensation plan, and the opportunity, but they rarely evaluate it the same way they'd evaluate an investment. Play along with me. If you owned an investment generating $200,000 a year, would you sell it without understanding when the new investment would start paying you? Probably not. You'd want to understand the risk, the timeline, the return, and how long it would take before you were made whole. And that's exactly how you should evaluate a sales opportunity. Don't just evaluate the upside, evaluate the transition, because the transition is where careers get in trouble. The best investment isn't always the one with the biggest promise, it's the one with the best combination of opportunity, timing, risk, and probability of success. And that's exactly how you should evaluate your next sales role. Every open position tells a story. One of the biggest mistakes candidates make is focusing entirely on the offer while ignoring the reason the opportunity exists in the first place. Before you decide whether to invest your career here, understand why the seat is open. Best case scenario, the previous person earned a promotion, but don't stop there. Ask why they were promoted. Did they build a sustainable business, or did they close one massive deal that may not repeat itself? Did they leave behind a healthy territory, or did they pull future opportunities forward to hit a number? The difference matters. The second possibility is resignation. Someone chose to leave, but why? Was it for a larger opportunity, a career change, a relocation, or did they leave because something wasn't working? Compensation, territory design, leadership, culture. If someone is voluntarily willing to walk away from the opportunity that you're about to accept, you should understand why. Third is growth. The company is expanding. This is often the most exciting scenario, but growth creates its own questions. How are accounts being divided? How are territories being assigned? What happens when multiple people are competing for the same opportunities? Growth sounds great. Understanding how growth affects your ability to succeed is even more important. And finally, termination. The previous person is no longer here. Maybe they were let go. Maybe performance wasn't where it needed to be. But maybe there were circumstances that had nothing to do with their sales ability. But either way, this is where you need to lean in, because the question isn't simply why they failed. The question is whether they failed because of the person or because of the situation. Every one of these scenarios tells you something about the company, about the territory, about the manager, about your odds of success. The open seat is there for a reason. Your job is to understand that reason before you decide whether to commit your time, your energy, and ultimately your career to it. Everything we've discussed so far leads to one conclusion. Don't accept an offer you didn't participate in creating. Let me say that again. Don't accept an offer that you didn't participate in creating. Not because the company is trying to take advantage of you, not because the recruiter is hiding something, but because nobody understands your situation better than you do. The company understands the role, the recruiter understands the hiring process, the hiring manager understands the territory, but only you understand your financial situation. Only you understand your career goals. Only you understand what you're leaving behind. And only you understand the transition you're about to make. That's why you have to have responsibility and participate in creating this new offer. An offer that reflects the reality of the transition. An offer that gives you the time, the space, and the opportunity to succeed. Because if you don't participate in creating the offer, you're accepting a generic proposal to a very specific situation. Now that we've established why you should participate in creating the offer, let's talk about what that actually means. Most people think negotiation starts when the offer letter arrives. I can't tell you how wrong that is. Negotiation starts much earlier. And in my experience, there are three things you need to understand: the what, the when, and the who. The what. When most people think about negotiation, they immediately think about salary. And salary matters, but it is only one piece of the equation. You can negotiate things like sign-on bonuses, draws, guarantee commission, quota relief, named opportunities, ramp plans, MBOs, and anything else that helps bridge the gap between day one and deal one. Remember, the goal isn't just to improve the offer. The goal is to improve your probability of success. The second question is when. When to negotiate, and the answer is much earlier than most people think. By asking questions and setting expectations early, you influence the result. If you wait, your time and emotional investment may tempt you to compromise. Most people assume timing only means when to negotiate, but timing also means understanding and influencing the overall timeline. Let me explain. Start dates, ramp periods, training schedules, territory assignments, account transfers. The timing of all those things matter. For example, an earlier start date may allow you to attend an important meeting, join a business trip, meet key customers, or participate in training that helps you compress the distance between day one and deal one. Just like in sales, do not automatically accept an arbitrary timeline. Understand it, question it, and where appropriate, help shape it. The third question is who. Who should you be having these conversations with? Different people control different parts of the process. Recruiters often understand the compensation ranges. Hiring managers understand territories, expectations, and what success looks like. Leadership may have flexibility that others don't. So who should you negotiate with? Everyone. Obviously with appropriate messaging and intensity, but they need to know early on that you are not the average candidate. The best negotiators don't wait for the offer. They use the entire hiring process to understand the situation, identify potential challenges, and help create a path that gives them the greatest opportunity to succeed. At this point, let's assume you've done everything we've discussed. You've evaluated the opportunity, you've understood the situation, you've participated in creating the offer, you've negotiated intelligently, and most importantly, you've created time. You've created financial runway. You've created flexibility. You've created the space necessary to succeed. Now the question becomes, what do you do with it? How do you maximize the opportunity you've created? The first step is accelerating learning. Learn the products, learn the customers, learn the competition, learn the internal processes. Learn from the people who have already been successful. The quicker you learn, the closer you are to that meaningful revenue. The faster you become effective, the faster you become valuable. The second step is accelerating access. Access to customers, opportunities, relationships, internal experts, etc. The faster you gain access to the people and resources that matter, the faster you can be creating opportunities on your own. The third step is creating momentum. Momentum changes everything. A meaningful opportunity, a strong meeting, a pilot, a proposal, a first win. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates activity. Activity creates opportunities. And opportunities eventually become commission checks. The final step is establishing your reputation. Fair or not, people begin forming opinions quickly. Within your first year, people will often have a clear picture of who they believe you are. Are you someone who creates opportunities, someone who follows through, someone who contributes, someone who can be trusted, or someone who is consistently struggling to catch up? Your reputation is being built whether you think about it or not. The goal is to build it intentionally, because the situation you shape before day one becomes the reputation you build after it. We are all salespeople. Embrace it, master it, profit. This is Life of Selling.